Hello again, this is Dana Drupsky for the 7th update video for March 7th, 2021. We left off at one of the musical titles. Now we got some more tapes. Now we go for the series, like we go through a lot of VHS tape series of the one and only Laurel and Hardy collection. That's the next step of like these tapes. Before we start, I forgot to tell you something in one of the musical tapes. The Little Shop of Horrors VHS for Rick Moranis, the one I showed you earlier for Part 6. It's a 1988 reprint, and sadly has no previews for Inner Space and the Little Shop of Horrors soundtrack album promo. But in the 1987 copy, it has that. But in the future, I'm gonna show you like two comparison videos of it. So let's get on with the comic genius of Laurel and Hardy. One of my previous YouTube videos I made about like my Laurel and Hardy 15 tapes one, even when it's from Nostalgia Merchants in the late 80s reissue. Now I have the ones that came out in the early 80s of Nostalgia Merchants. That was before it was distributed by Media Home Entertainment. Let's start with Laurel and Hardy Comedy Classic Volume 1. It has like 4 vintage shorts from the Hal Roach Studios library. The Oscar-winning Music Box, 1932. County Hospital, 1932. Live Ghost, 1934, and Twice 2, 1933, with Laurel and Hardy's twin sisters. This is the first release of it. This is not exactly 1985 reprint from Media Home Entertainment Distributor. This is what the tape looks like. When it came out back in 1978. God, I love Laurel and Hardy. Here's another nice mess you got me into, Stan. The next one we have in the Laurel and Hardy collection is Volume 2 of the Comedy Classics. Has one of their earlier ones like Blotto in 1930, Toad in a Hole 1932, the one they're building a boat. Bratz with their boys, Double Rollers themselves, and finally Hogwild 1930, hooking up a radio antenna. These Laurel and Hardy films are classics. One of the 7 cast members in the Laurel and Hardy films I know was Thelma Todd. Charlie Chase appeared with Laurel and Hardy in The Sons of the Desert. Mae Bush, Edgar Kennedy, Charlie Hall, James Finlayson, and Billy Gilbert. This volume is a 1978 release by Nostalgia Merchants, not by Media Home Entertainment. And now the next one we have here, it is Laurel and Hardy Comedy Classic Volume 3, when they have like Oliver the Eighth, 1934, Busy Bodies, 1933, Their First Mistakes, 1932, and Dirty Work, 1933. The one had to play like the chimney sweepers. I'll show you what the tape looks like. Laurel and Hardy are funny as the Three Stooges. This is what the tape looks like. The collection continues with Volume 4 that has Another Fine Mess in 1930, Come Clean 1931, Laughing Gravy 1931, and Ennio Port in 1932. 1980 box packaging. It's a reprint. It was a 1978 original from the original Nostalgia Merchants. God, I love Laurel and Hardy. Now we roll on to my favorite volume of the Laurel and Hardy Comedy Classics. On volume 5 it has Be Big in 1931, the one with the boys who had to go to their bachelor party when they're on their way to go to Atlantic City with their wives. It warms up as Sons of the Desert. Then we got Perfect Day in 1929, the one with the car trouble when they're going on the picnic trip. Night Owls, and then finally Night Owls 1930, and finally Helpmates, the one with the boys has to clean up the house. That's my second favorite short on this volume. I only like Be Big and Helpmates. And this is not a 1985 reprint, this is the 1980 original of this 5th Laurel and Hardy volume. It's another fine mess you got me into, Stan. Now we got volume 6. On this one it has Our Wife in 1931, The Fixer-Uppers 1935, Them Thar Hills in 1934, and there is a sequel from Them Thar Hills where Laurel and Hardy were getting even with Charlie Hall in Tit for Tat. 1980 original, not 1985 reprint when it's distributed by Media Home Entertainment. We'll get that in the very near future. 1978 original sticker label. God, I love Stan and Ollie. Known as Laurel and Hardy. Hal Roach created the female version of Laurel and Hardy with Thelma Tarr and Zazu Pitts. Later has been replaced by Patsy Kelly. Now the next one we have is the 7th Laurel and Hardy volume. It has has Me and My Pal in 1933. Then it's the Below Zero in 1930. Thickening Water in 1935 became their final short in 1935. And The Midnight Patrol in 1933. The one with Laurel and Hardy plays police officers when they went to like the wrong guy's house. 1981 original from the original Nostalgia Merchants. Show you what the tape looks like. The next one we have here is Volume 8. It has Men of War in 1929, Laurel and Hardy Murder Case 1930, a remake later with the Three Stooges in it, The Body Meets the Body, the one I showed you in one of the early Three Stooges tapes, Scram, and finally One Good Turn in 1931. This is the 1981 original. At the end of this copy, it has two trailers for one of Laurel and Hardy features, that is Chumps in Oxford and Saps at Sea. This is the 1981 original. This is the 1982 reprint from Nostalgia Merchants. And finally, we have Laurel and Hardy Comedy Classic Volume 9 with 4 final shorts. Starts with Bo Hungs in 1931. This was the only Laurel and Hardy short. It was made for almost 40 minutes and 4 reels when they're in the Foreign Legion. Then it has Going Bye Bye. Then the hilarious Chickens Come Home, the remake later of Love 'Em and Weep, with Mae Bush played both roles in 2 films. Love 'Em and Weep was 1927 Hal Roach All-Star Short Series in the silent era. Then Chickens Come Home was a remake in 1931. And finally, we roll on to their earlier shorts like Birthmarks. It was their second short after they did their first talkie, Uncustom As We Are. And this is the 1983 release of it from Nostalgia Merchants. I love Laurel and Hardy, just like opposite to the Three Stooges. This is an early 83 original. Yep. Then we roll on to Hal Roach Comedy Classic Volume 1, known as the 10th Laurel and Hardy volume. It has only one Laurel and Hardy film, that is The Who Style in 1929. The Head Guy with Harry Landon, that was originally in 1930. The High Gear with the Boyfriends with former Hour Gang member Freckle-Faced Mickey Daniels. And finally, On the Wrong Track with Charlie Chase, the same film with Laurel and Hardy made a cameo appearance. And this is the 1985 release of it by Nostalgia and Media Home Entertainment. I have the 1987 reissue of it. That's when it was distributed by Fox Hills Video, but the tape master is from 1985. Show you what this tape looks like. I like the ones that are kindly distributed by Media when it's reissued in 1985, just like the Nightmare on Elm Street tapes. We got plenty of more Laurel and Hardy tapes. Now we roll on to a couple of their shorts were in colorization, like the Oscar-winning Music Box, the one that to bring the piano up down the stairs, and Helpmates and Colorized. And this was out in the Big Fat Box in 1986 from the Hal Roach Studios Award Movie Greats. At the time when they had the Laurel and Hardy show, when it was broadcast on WWR9, with the best part I like about that show, it has the Laurel and Hardy scrapbook in there. And this Big Fat Box packaging, the Music Box and Helpmates, it was like opposite to the Way Out West Colorized. This is from Hal Roach Studios Award Quality Movie Greats. Recorded it on SP. Later, it was reissued in Video Treasures when it was recorded and run on LP in 1987. Now we roll on to their first feature-length movie when they were with Hal Roach Studios is Part.7 in 1931. The one with the boys were in jail for selling beer in the days in Prohibition. 1982 original release comes with not the Boyfriend short, but it has Thelma Todd and Patsy Kelly in Air Flight. On the beginning of this tape, it has the Laurel and Hardy series opening, just like they used it in the Video Treasures series. Then at the end of this tape has the previews for Chumps in Oxford and Saps at Sea. Too bad this is not a beta. Part.7 was reissued in 1985 by Nostalgia and Media release. Now we got one of the original Nostalgia Merchants VHS format box series. And this is the second Laurel and Hardy feature-length, Pack Up Your Troubles. Comes with a Charlie Chase short, Poker at 8. And this is the one with the boys were in the army, and after they got out of World War I, they had to help that little girl to find that little girl's father in Pack Up Your Troubles. Now the next one we have in the series, the one that started it all, We Are the Sons of the Desert. Sons of the Desert is the Laurel and Hardy's best feature film by Leonard Maltin TV movies. Yep. This is the one with the boys had to go to their convention, try to fool their wives. Yep. Mrs. Hardy in this film was played by Mae Bush. She was a Laurel and Hardy regular. And also has Charlie Chase in it as one of the large number. Yep. And it comes with a Thelma Todd and Patsy Kelly short of Top Flat in 1935. And this is the 1978 original. Box packaging's got to be 1981. 1978 original. Boy, my hand's getting tired of holding the camera. Next one we have here is Bogus Bandits, known as the Devil's Brothers. This is from Good Times Home Video in 1992. This co-stars with Dennis King and Thelma Todd. This is made in 1933. The Devil's Brothers were kindly released from MGM UA Home Video during the 1990s. Now we got like one of Laurel Hardy's best feature-length movies. That is the classic movie they put this on every Thanksgiving or Christmas. March of the Wooden Soldiers, known as Babes in Toyland. The black and white version. This is not a colorized. And they cut out the opening scene in Babes in Toyland in this copy. They cut out Toyland, Toyland, when like Mother Goose was singing it. And also they cut that other scene in March of the Wooden Soldiers when Bo Peep and Tom were singing in the cave when they're kindly sleeping. From those, when they have the Sandman would put them to sleep. This is released on VHS in Independent United Distributors from 1979. However, this is the 1982 reprint. I had to get this at the thrift store. No, I think it's my uncle used to have these Laurel and Hardy tapes. Because he's a VHS collector. Now, the next one we got in the series with Laurel and Hardy is Bonnie Scotland's in 1935. This is an MGM UA Home Video release of the Hooray for Hollywood series. They're offbeat, out of step, and funnier than ever. At the end of this tape, it has the Deftone in there. This looks like a sack duplicate is with the Chickmunk Adventure. And this is going to be Macrovision. The one with one of the other Laurel Hardy tapes I used to have on VHS Nostalgia Merchants by Media had Macrovision. That is Volume 2, Volume 6, and The Bohemian Girl. Now, speaking about Bohemian Girl, we got a Bohemian Girl came out on VHS originally in 1981. The one, and also that was a film had Darla Hood in it. She was a member of our gang known as the Little Rascals. This is the last film appearance for the Hal Roach female star Thelma Todd. In real life, Thelma Todd was murdered by Lucky Luciano's men, but fatally, they marked it as carbon monoxide. But to me, she was murdered by Lucky Luciano's men. They found her body in the car at the time. After she did this, the small part in Bohemian Girl, and she did her final show with Patsy Kelly, All American Toothache. On this tape comes with a bonus Hal Roach short with Charlie Chase and Thelma Todd in The High Seas in 1931. And this is what the tape looks like in 1981. We got like plenty of more fun with Laurel and Hardy coming right up. The next one we got here is their double role as their twin brother and themselves in Our Relations in 1936. And it comes with a Charlie Chase short as himself and his pappy in Southern Explosion in 1935. 1981 original, yep. Originally it's a 1978. But however, this copy of it is 1984 reprint. This is printed on March 25th, 1984 for Our Relations. They must have updated it. Now we got one of Laurel Hardy's best. That is the 1937 classic Way Out West. Not a colorized one, but black and white. And they did like the dancing number with the Dovey brothers. And their best foil actor in this film is James Finlayson. And it comes with a Hal Roach short with Thelma Todd and Patsy Zazu Pitts in The Red Nose. That's one of their earlier ones. Also it has It's a Wonderful Life trailer. The 1978 release. Box packaging, 1981. I used to have the 1985 reprint of Way Out West black and white version, when it was distributed by Media Home Entertainment. Now we got Swiss Miss from 1938, one of their later ones. Comes with a Thelma Tart and Patsy Kelly short of Hot Money. That's one of their last ones. 1978 original. Or I think it was in 80. We got like plenty more Laurel and Hardy cassettes. The next one we have here, that is The Blockheads, 1938. That was a remake from their earliest short called Uncustom As We Are. Uncustom As We Are, yep. Comes with a Charlie Chase short, I'll Take Vanilla, when they had the member of Our Gang Little Rascals, Tommy Bond. And also the same Tommy Bond plays Butch in their later ones, picking on Spanky and Alfalfa. Then he does the role of Jimmy Olsen in one of the Superman serial series. This is a 1980 original, But I used to have the 1987 original. 1987 reissue. And the 87 reissue of Blockheads doesn't have I'll Take Vanilla on there. Now we got here like one of the hilarious movies of the series Flying Deuces in 1939. This was not made for Hal Roach. The memorable scene I like when they're flying a plane out of the Foreign Legion and leaving Foreign Legion when Laurel and Hardy does a singing and dancing number of Shine on Harvest Moon. At the end of this tape has a preview of some titles were available from VCI. That's got to be distributed by Media at the time, I guess. This has got to be a 1985-86 reprint. Well, there's another nice mess you got me into. The next one we got there, one of their last ones that did for Hal Roach in 1940, Chumps in Oxford. When they're at Oxford, and it comes with a Charlie Chase short, The Basco Kid, in 1932. 1981 original release of The Chumps in Oxford. In the early 1990s, Chumps in Oxford was reissued on VHS by Video Treasures, when it's told by Stan Laurel's daughter, Lois Laurel, in the series. Finally, for the ones they did for Hal Roach was Saps at Sea in 1940. When Oliver Hardy hears horns, he goes berserk. And it comes with the Chase Pimple Street with Charlie Chase. 1981 original. This is the 1978 original. Sorry about the tape damage, but my uncle had like trouble of these Laurel and Hardy tapes. The next one we have here, that's one of their last ones in the entire Laurel and Hardy series. It's in the early 1940s. After they left Hal Roach, they made some films for 20th Century Fox, and this is their final movie they did for Europe. Is called Auto K, known as Utopia, released in 1950. When Stan Laurel was having strokes, Oliver Hardy has heart attacks. Yep, this is from Video Treasures, 1985, of Utopia. This became a final Laurel and Hardy film of the series. The late 40s and early 50s, Oliver Hardy appeared as a solo without Stan Laurel when he was with John Wayne called Kentucky Fighting Kentuckian in 1949. After that, Oliver Hardy made another film of him in a small part in Riding High with Bing Crosby, directed by Frank Capra. This film co-stars with, besides Oliver Hardy, had John Howard, Mae Mash, Yeah. And this is made in the Republic Pictures in 1949. And this is the 1986 release from Republic Pictures Home Video. Show you what the tape looks like. My uncle is a Laurel and Hardy fan, but he also likes the Three Stooges. And finally, we got 4 Laurel and Hardy cartoon tapes. The ones are made by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera in the 1960s. And it has some good cartoon shorts on there. In 2019, there was a movie about the lives of Laurel and Hardy. These tapes are from Unicorn Video Incorporated in the early 80s. God, I love Laurel and Hardy. Arthur Jefferson Laurel and Oliver Norval Hardy. Now we got volume 2 of the Laurel and Hardy cartoons. In every cassette it has like 10 cartoons. It was made by Hanna-Barbera in the 60s. Around that time when they had the Three Stooges live action and cartoons, like they call it the newer Three Stooges cartoons with Curly Joe DeRita joined the act at the time. Now we got volume 3. We got a few more Laurel and Hardy cassettes. Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy were friends for a long time when they made shorts and features of the team when they would produce a Hal Roach. They get along fine. Abbott and Costello, I think they hated each other, but they made movies and TV shows. Yeah. And this is the last Laurel and Hardy tape I have. It's volume 4 with their cartoons. At the end of those tapes, it has the Laurel and Hardy collection, the cartoon collection promo at the end of these tapes. So that includes my update video part 7 of showing you the complete Laurel and Hardy VHS tapes. We'll see you next time for the finale of my VHS new arrivals. Till then, stay safe and to be a Laurel and Hardy fan, watch their shorts and features right on YouTube. Or even Blu-ray or DVD, or your hobbies on VHS. Goodbye and stay safe, my Stan and Ollie fans.